Hey, what's up, guys? I'm BJ Dell, and welcome back to an all-new edition of Cartooning 101, my YouTube exclusive series that walks you through the basics and fundamentals of cartooning. In today's new episode, we're going to continue the series talking about bodies and how to draw a baby. I'm going to show you how you can use basic shapes to build up your design, how you can use the head as a jumping off point to measure out the proportions of the body, and then also how to add final details to finish your design. So if you want to learn all about that and more, keep watching. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the video today then. An all-new episode of Cartooning 101. Welcome. As always, I'm using the iPad Pro. This is a 12.9-inch Gen 4 model, Apple Gen 2 pencil. The app that I'm using today is Procreate, but as I've said previously in the other videos in this series, this is not a digital tutorial. So if you don't have an iPad, if you don't have a fancy drawing tablet, do not worry. This is all about the fundamentals of cartooning. So just grab a piece of paper, a pencil, possibly a pen or a marker, and an eraser, and follow along. So let's jump into it. Like I said, we're going to draw a baby today, focusing on the body, but starting out, we need to draw the head. So we're going to start out with just a circle here. This is going to be the basic shape for the head, and then from the sides, we're going to pull down for the jawline here. I've done previous videos in the Cartooning 101 series. The first 3 videos we're talking about how to draw cartoon heads. I didn't focus on any babies in that because I actually did a previous Let's Draw video about how to draw the heads of babies, and I will link that up in a card up top if you want to check that out. Focused on drawing babies and children and toddlers, and definitely check that one out if you want to learn more. But the overall kind of idea, just to break it down here, is babies and heads are going to be a little bit different as far as proportion wise. They're going to be almost smushed down towards the bottom. So you're going to have this big cranium part up here, and then everything's going to kind of fall down in this bottom section. So it's going to kind of have that compacted look to it. That's going to be the main difference between babies and even, you know, older children and adults, is that overall proportions of the head's going to be different. Therefore, the body proportions are going to be different as well. And that's kind of why we are drawing the head right now, even though we're talking about bodies today, because we're going to use the head as kind of a jumping off point of where we want everything proportionate wise with the bodies. The previous Cartooning 101 body series video that I did talked about the 8 head method of drawing bodies, and basically a regular proportioned human body is about 8 heads tall. That's going to be different with the baby. It's going to be about 2.5 heads tall. So that's why we want to get the head starting out, so we can use that kind of as our basis for where everything else goes. So that's why we're starting out with the head before we jump into the body. So now that I've got everything here kind of sketched out, let's go ahead and darken this up just so you can see it. This point, if you're following along at home and you are using traditional methods, you could go back in with your pencil and just draw harder. Or if you've got, you know, a marker or a pen just to darken everything up, you could do that as well. And that's kind of what I'm doing here, is just following around these lines that we've already drawn and just darkening everything up so it kind of pops a little bit more and we can see what we've done here. I'm going to erase this eyebrow and just kind of following along, darkening everything as we go along. You see the nose here kind of smushed down, cute little button nose. You can kind of shade underneath and pull a line there at the top. Mouth just kind of cute there with a small little bottom lip there. And let's go ahead and bring the bottom of the jawline down. We can stop here in the center if we want and draw a little chin here. Same thing here, just pulling that one down and around. Do these cute little ears off to the sides. The ears here kind of small. Then same thing when we get to the other kind of characteristics. We kind of want some smaller hands, some smaller feet, smaller fingers. Just everything's going to be kind of smushed and smaller. So let's go ahead and get the head here, following that around. There we go. We can even add, you know, like a little curly Q up top, almost like a little Cupid there. And then we can just kind of add some shading in here for like the inside parts of the irises. Just kind of shade those in. Pulling off with our eraser and adding in the kind of glow and the glare there inside the eyes. And then let's just go ahead and add these little cheek lines here across the eyes. Kind of break those up just a little bit. There we go. So we've got our head done. Like I said, this is our jumping off point. This is where we're going to use this shape, this overall size, to kind of dictate the proportions of the rest of the body. So I'm going to pull back here so we can see this a little bit better. Now, from here, if you are following along digitally, you can follow along to this next step. If you're following along just traditionally with a piece of paper and pencil, here's where it might be handy to have a ruler or another piece of paper where you can kind of measure stuff out. So what we're going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. Like I said, if you're following along with paper, just kind of measure the head and make a mental note of how big it is. And then we're going to pull off that to the side. And like I said, this head here, I'm going to start it. I'm not going to go all the way to the chin. I'm going to do it to about the jawline there. And this, I'm going to pull off to the side. So this is going to represent basically the overall size of our upper body, down to actually the bottom of the diaper is going to be down to about there. So that's going to be the overall size. Now, this next point, don't want you to actually draw or follow along with this. So this is just for kind of demonstration purposes only. So let me go ahead. I'm going to make a new layer here just so I can show you the difference in the shape of the bodies for a baby. So let's say this was an adult. Usually with an adult, you're going to have a neck coming down here into the shoulders. And then usually, the shoulders are going to come out further than the head. And then it's going to taper down here. So the chest is going to taper down at an angle towards the waist, and you're going to be left with, something like this for the upper torso. And obviously that looks absolutely ridiculous for a baby, and it's actually going to be the opposite for a baby. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to delete that out now, and let's start drawing in the shapes for the body. So let me make sure we're on the right layer here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with two basic ovals to start to kind of decide the overall size. I'm going to go ahead and start here at the bottom. Once again, if you want to draw a line here so you can see it, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. We're going to draw just an oval here for the belly. And this bottom is going to be like where the diaper comes down. Diaper bottom is going to sit right there. So we just got this pretty big oval here, and then we're going to have a secondary oval here. This one's going to overlap though. It's going to come up into the head because with this baby, I'm not going to give it a neck. The shoulders are going to come down out of the head, and we're going to pull this one down like this. So you can see, as we talked about with the adult, it's going to come down, like I said, a tapered angle like this, being wider at the shoulders, coming down to a taper at the waist. With the baby, it's going to be smaller here towards the shoulders, and it's going to come down wider here at the bottom. You can see that's going to be the main difference between the two. So we've got these two circles here. We're going to kind of start to connect these just really light. We almost want it to have this kind of pear shape to it. You can see as it comes down and around, instead of going in and connecting these exactly how they are, as it starts to come down here, I'm going to kind of curve out into that pear. So with babies, the main thing to remember is they're just really round, and that's kind of what we're going for here. We just kind of want this nice flowing kind of roundness to them. They're the way that things come together, you'll see later, it's almost kind of like sausage links, that are smushed together. And that's kind of the idea that we want to keep with going forward with it. So let's go ahead and knock in where the diaper goes. So this is pretty easy. If we follow this around just about halfway, maybe a little bit lower than halfway here on this oval, we're just going to draw a curved line here that follows that shape of that bottom oval. So it's not going to be a straight line across because we want the curve of the body to kind of follow that. So that's going to be the top of the diaper there. And then if we start here at the sides and just kind of pull it down into a triangle, that's going to be where our diaper goes. So you can see just the way that we're using basic shapes really helps build up the overall look of the makeup of the character. So that's one thing I really stress with these tutorials, and the overall just main videos that I do on the channel is talking about how to use shapes to start to build up the character rather than just jumping in and trying to draw outlines for everything. You really want to use shapes to kind of visualize stuff. And this is also the reason why you're able to draw stuff out of your mind rather than having to look at, a bunch of reference photos. You can start to combine shapes and really be able to capture that stuff out of your imagination. So let's go ahead and add in the arms next. So let's go back to our pencil here. And like I said, the arms are going to come out here and the shoulders out of the actual jawline. I'm not going to draw a neck or anything. We want the baby, like I said, kind of have that smush, compact look to it. The overall features too of a baby, you got to think it's kind of like almost like a bobblehead. That's the look you want to give. And since babies aren't really the most dexterous on their feet, they're going to topple over, and you want to give that look. So everything's going to be kind of just a little bit off kilter, and that's why, like I said, bigger here at the head coming down to the body. And then with the legs too, we're going to kind of make those a little off kilter to give that kind of wobbly look to them. So let's go ahead and start here with the shoulders coming out into the arms. So you'll see where this kind of curve here comes around. We want to kind of follow that curve for our first oval. So we're going to bring that down on that side, and we're going to bring it down on this side as well. And I'm going to have this kind of, baby kind of reaching out to the side. So it's not going to be the most, realistic pose necessarily for a baby, but the way that I'm going to bring these arms out is going to allow you to see the way everything's connected. So rather than overlapping something here and not really understanding the way that everything is made up, I'm going to pull these out to the side just a little bit so it's easier to see. So we'll see here, we've got this coming down and around, got those ovals there. Now we can do another oval here. So again, these are kind of short and fat, little stout ovals. Once again, with that baby, like you can see, as it's starting to kind of form, I've almost got that sausage link look to it. And another way to describe this, if you think about kind of the Michelin Man combined with Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters, that's kind of the look we're going for. You want that just really round, everything kind of is smushed and flows together in these really kind of soft curves, and that's what we're going for here. So now that we've got that, let's go ahead and add the hands. Like I said earlier, the hands, they're going to be small. So we want, small ovals for the hands. You don't want them too big. Likewise with the baby, hands, you're not going to have wrists. Baby's kind of the upper portion of the arm goes into the lower portion and then kind of directly into the hand. So you don't have a wrist like you would in a regular, teen or an adult. You don't have that taper. You're just going to have it going directly into there. So that's why we're going to do those there like that. And we've got the overall shapes laid in there. Let's go ahead and start knocking in the legs, and then we can start adding some more details here as we go. So once again, if you want to get out your ruler, if you're doing traditional with this, feel free. But let's go ahead and take that same head here, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. And I'm going to say just about to there is going to be the halfway point. And we'll just remove this top portion here, and then I'm going to go ahead and just slide this down to about there. So that's going to be, once again, kind of where the bottom portion comes in. So our head, of course, counts as one head, believe it or not. Wow. And then the body is going to be one head. The legs and thighs, basically thighs and the calves and the feet, that's going to make up a half of a head. So like I said, a lot different than, a realistic proportioned adult like we talked about in the previous 8 head video. So let's go ahead and knock in these. So once again, we're going to start out with these ovals, and the top portion here, the thigh that comes down here is going to be a little bit thicker and a little bit bigger than the bottom one. So this is going to be the big oval, just like we did up here. This first one was a little bit bigger. So you'll see these ovals are larger. And then the next one down is going to be a little bit smaller. So you can bring those in here. And then once again, just a little tiny oval here, for the feet. I've got these kind of turned inward, so almost like a pigeon toed or kind of knock-kneed look to it. Like I said, we want that kind of off-balance look for the baby, and we're going to be able to achieve that through those feet down there. So we've got everything laid in. From here, if you want to, we can kind of go ahead and lay in where the fingers are going to go. Once again, just using some small little ovals to determine that. We can just throw in some fingers there. Same thing over here on this side. One of my, I guess, advices with drawing hands and fingers is, even though these are, the same from left to right, make them a little bit different so they don't look like they're just the exact same from left to right when drawing a design like this. And I actually did a previous video too about drawing hands, so I will link that up in the card as well. We're not going to cover, a lot of that here, but that'll give you a jumping off point for that. So let's go ahead and get rid of that head off to the side because we don't need that anymore. We're done with that. So let's go ahead then and start to kind of darken this up and add these details in. Let me reposition this. Okay, so there we go. So let's go ahead and I'm going to clean this up just a tad bit, this overlapping part here. This is where too, if you're doing this digitally, you could do these on separate layers. I didn't with this because I didn't want to go back and forth too much and confuse people that were following along traditionally, but this is where you could use a different layer. Likewise, if you're doing this traditionally, if you want to do your sketch on one paper and then use either a light box, you could, throw it up on a window or something like that and trace over top of it on another paper once you have the overall shapes in there and darken it up so you don't have all the sketch lines. Totally up to you. Or if you go in, with a marker and a pen and then go back in and erase your sketch lines that you did with pencil, you can do that as well. So let's go ahead and start to darken these in. Let's start here, I guess, with the belly here, and we'll just bring up line here. Now remember, like I said, these are going to have like really soft curves to them, but there's going to be a lot of kind of overlapping and kind of wrinkles where everything smushes together. So bringing this up, I'm going to bring the belly up just a little bit further here as it comes up, because we're going to have that come up to, the nipples, and having that come up is going to allow us to do that a little bit easier. So we're going to kind of have that curve in, once again, like an overlap here where the belly comes in. Some like nice little curves. I keep erasing. Try this again. I'm having so many problems with this today. Jeez. All right. One more time. There we go. And then we can kind of have some extra wrinkles here where like the arms connect there underneath where you've got the armpits. Let's go ahead and draw like the little nipples here. Got that. And if you want to even draw here, kind of like the curve there, you can do that as well. Bringing down then from here, we'll just kind of follow this. Once again, we don't want a hard cut here. We kind of want that nice flow. So when these come together, you want to kind of curve that in and around. You don't want a hard angled cut. So watch as I do this and you'll see exactly what I mean. So you'll see just a little soft indentation there where those meet is kind of what you're going for. You don't want that hard angle. And then for the bottom one here, we're not even going to put anything there as far as the cut. We're just going to kind of follow that as one swooping line there. It's the same thing here. We're just going to follow that out into one line. So here then in the center, this is where kind of the arm creases. You've got the upper arm here, the forearm here. So this is going to be kind of the crease here where those come together. If you were looking at this from the backside, this is, of course, where the elbow would be from the backside to kind of give you an idea where everything is set at. So now that we've got that, let's go ahead and give them a little belly button there. And then let's go ahead and do the diaper. Here, once again, we need to kind of have the diaper coming out to the sides, so it's going to wrap around. So if we draw little sides like this, almost just like a little angled line there, and then this line tapering back into that is going to make it look like this is wrapped around the baby and it comes around the waist. So the main thing here is to make sure these lines on the side come out and away. Then you can taper these down in here. These are going to come down. Then once again, these are going to kind of wrap around the legs. So we're going to need those to come out like that. Pull up here in the center. You can add some little overlaps there, some little folds and creases in the diaper if you want. Pull this up and around again. And then here, like I said, just adding some creases, stuff like that, just to make it look a little bit more realistic. Even though it is a cartoon, you can add in just fun little details like that. So I've got the diaper added in there. So let's go ahead and get the feet and the legs done. These, once again, like up here, we don't want these hard cuts. So where these meet right here, we don't want those to just go in real sharp. So we want that really nice soft curve. Once again, just that kind of suggestion that it goes in and then back out like that. Then we're going to do the same thing here towards the center. This one where they connect, you'll see the inside here. These are going to connect a little bit lower. That's going to give that kind of knock-kneed look, and it's going to have that angled look for the kneecap. So once again, if we pull this in and then back out, but where it comes in and out is going to be, like I said, lower than that outside point. Then just a couple of little lines here for the kneecaps will kind of show where exactly those are. And like I said, that gives us that kind of bow-legged, knock-kneed, pigeon-toed look that's going to make the baby look a little bit off balance and make it look exactly like what we're going for. So now we've got that, let's go ahead and do the hands and the feet next. Hey guys, real quick, just want to interrupt this episode of Cartooning 101 to talk about this next section you're going to be watching. So I'm about to draw the hands as well as the feet on this character. And I do apologize, and I do realize that my own hand is blocking some of what I'm drawing in this video. You're going to see, you can't see every single stroke that I make. You can't see every single line as I draw it. And there's a reason why I did that, a reason why I left it in, and the reason why I'm bringing it up now. And that's because I've done a lot of videos so far in the Cartooning 101 series, and of course there's been positive reaction to it, but there's also been a lot of negative, and one of the negative comments that I continuously hear is that I zoom in and zoom out too much on the screen, that it's distracting, that it's annoying, that it ruins the video, makes it unwatchable. And honestly, I do it for a reason. A lot of things in the videos you might not understand that they're actually done to make the best viewing possible of what I'm drawing. And you'll see here, I zoom in and I zoom out because there's certain areas of the screen that my hand is going to be blocking if I don't. There is a method to the madness, and there's a reason why I do it, and you're about to see why in 3, 2, 1. So like I said here, everything just needs to be pretty small and tiny. You want dainty little fingers, dainty little hands. Key here is to make sure that they're not too big. So we'll just knock these in here. Like so. And then, like I said, here on the one side, maybe making them just look a little bit different. So here, I don't have the thumb and the index finger connected. So over here, maybe connect those. I've got the thumb coming down, angled this way. So this one, maybe having it, come up like that would be a better choice. And then, like I said, connected to the index finger here. There we go. So we've got the left and the right hand there. Let's go ahead and do the feet now. So let's zoom in just a little bit here. And we're going to go ahead and draw around here for the heel coming down into the foot. Then we can bring this around. I'm going to shape this out just a little bit more. We're going to have this top part kind of overlap here, and the foot's going to come back out. So you're going to have a little bit of a curve of kind of baby fat there where it comes into the foot. And then as this comes down and around, you can kind of sketch this and just start adding in those little toes here. With the big toe kind of having that come up in the back like that. Same thing on this side, drawing the heel down as kind of just a little curve of a circle there. Bringing the foot around. Like I said, just once again, making this the left and the right just look a little bit different so it doesn't look like you just took, the left side and just traced it right across onto the right side. So pulling back there, and there we've got the finished baby. Really kind of quick and easy way to do this. Of course, once you start adding in different angles, things are going to change. But the main thing here to remember is just the 2.5 head method on this really is going to allow you to position everything in the right proportions to give that traditional kind of cute cartoon baby look. So that's it for this one. Next one up in the body series is going to be drawing just a traditional male character. So we're going to go from the baby to the male character, and the one after that then is going to be the female. These are going to be basically just kind of short bite-sized ones rather than covering, too much in one episode. I wanted to break them up a little bit. I've been toying around with different ideas and how to do this. It's been a constant struggle to get these to look exactly right and formed right for the videos. So I think that's the way it's best going forward, is doing it like that. Once we get those, then we'll talk about different angles, and that's going to move into actually doing motion poses. So I really urge you, if you guys are following along with this, or if this is your first Cartooning 101 video, definitely check out the other ones. It's going to be an ongoing class, and each episode is going to kind of build on the previous one going forward. So definitely look forward to the next episode. If you guys like today's video, if you got some information out of it, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell for notifications so you can get alerted when I post new videos like the new Cartooning 101s in the series. Also, let me know in the comments too how the sound in this video is. I just got a new Shure SM7B along with a Zoom H6 recorder. Kind of wanted to up the sound game on these, so definitely let me know how this sounds compared to previous videos down in the comments. Kind of kicking around the idea of doing a podcast too, based around art and making money with your arts as well. So if that's something you guys want to see, or actually hear, I guess, let me know in the comments too, and any kind of topics and stuff like that you want to see covered, or you would like to have featured in that podcast. Like I said, not solid idea right now, just something I'm kicking around. So definitely let me know what you guys want to hear. And that's it for me. And until next time, keep creating.